Okay guys, Australian dollar for the 10th of December. So we're going to have a quick recap of the market from last week in relation to our Sunday analysis, and then we'll have a look at the market for the trading week ahead. Now last week what we went over was how Australian dollar was looking bearish. We had the potential double bottom here coming right on the sloping trend line. And what we went over was how really for the market to start looking bullish, on the back of this double bottom, we would need to break up above 7660. So usually with a double bottom, people look to buy into the breaks of the center of the double bottom. However, it didn't make any sense because we were coming straight back into a key level of structure. And what you can actually see is on Tuesday, the market broke up above these levels to retest at this structure before the very strong bearish movement started. Now this is basically breaking up. It's looking to trigger in the breakout traders, people who are looking at this double bottom, expecting a stronger retrace. It spikes up, it triggers them in, and then the market makes a very strong bearish wave back down once again. Now, on Monday, we bounced off of that the support line at 7590 to 7570, which is lining up with the sloping trend line. That's where we got the move up. Then we rejected up into these key resistance areas, didn't quite reach that 7640 area on Wednesday, and then we've came right back down into the bottom of this sloping support line. Now really looking at this market for the week ahead, we are down toward the last, for me, key level of support before I'm expecting, or I would expect, a much stronger move down toward really the 7400. So let's look at that support level first of all. Around about 7520. We've gone over this before. We took the very strong double bottom here from back in June, which caused the enormous bullish movement on Australian dollar. And we're taking that central point. So really, let's just have a quick look. We could take it down toward here. So we're around about 7490 to 7520, this whole section here. When you have a double bottom like this and you break up above, very often when you see the market coming back down to retest, you find some type of support. You can actually see when you break up here, you come back down, you test, and then we get that very strong bullish movement. So for me, this is the last remaining key level of potential support on this market. So I'm more than happy coming into next week to look for potential bullish positions here. You can actually see on Friday we bounced and we maintained contact with this lower band of the trend line. Down in here, happy to look for those buy positions next week. I'm really looking at it as, excuse me, though it's lining up with that trend line. Want to be a little bit careful on the move back up as well. Let's get rid of this. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So we have key levels of structure up here also for potential bearish continuation. Right where we are sitting now, it is that last level of key support. Let's quickly go into the weekly time frame. So where we're sitting at 7500 roughly, last level of key support. If we start breaking down below there, really it's not until we get all the way down to 7400 and 7375 that we find further strong support levels. Now if we start breaking down below those levels, then it's really all the way down towards 7260 to 7170. So looking at Australian dollar moving forward, if we're starting to fail here, I'm expecting the move to 7400. If we start failing there, then it's a stronger bearish movement coming in. For me, all the way down towards 7250 to 7260. So what you have to be aware of is, although we're at a key level of support and it's worthwhile looking for buy positions, the market is overall bearish. So it's more than worthwhile looking to sell into rallies. Now we have a minor level for me, 7530 to 7535. We actually tested it on Friday. If we are failing at this level and we see the bearish continuation coming in from these levels, it's a sign that the bearish trend is very strong. Because we're basically only pressing back up to test a couple of spikes down from back in the 17th and the 21st of November. The key levels, looking for pullback, really they're up towards 7550 all the way up into 7565. Right here, we're going to actually bring this up. I'm going to move this up a little bit. Because for me, it's coming all the way up into 7570. This whole section up here is lining up with that previous structure. It's a good area if we do see the bullish bounce coming in to look for bearish continuation once again. At least back down into this zone right here. But also we'd be watching at the trend line. Now if we start breaking up above this level, then I'd be happy to look for a little bit more bullish continuation. Still being pretty cautious, really up toward 7580. This spike down here would be the first level of resistance. But if we do start to break up above here, I'd be happy to look for a move back up to the upper band of that trend line and potentially up into previous highs, which is lining up with around about 7600. So the round number 7600. Really, that's the main things I'm looking at going into next week. Last key level of support, 7490 to 7520. More than happy to buy here. If we do start to see nice clean breaks of this level, then the Australian dollar moving forward continues to be very bearish. Expect that longer term move down toward the 7400 levels. Selling into rallies back up toward previous structure also makes a lot of sense, because we have now created another wave down on what is potentially the continuation of the downtrend. If we're starting to break up above this level, then really I'd be starting to be happy to look for the bullish bounces up toward 7580, the trend line, and potentially all the way back up to the 7600 round number. Okay guys, so that is everything for this week. As always, I hope you found that useful. I hope you all have a good trading week next week. I'm James Orr, and thank you.